going to show you how Helix Chatbot provides end users with intelligent and an omni-channel way to resolve issues using conversation. The chatbot leverages your service catalog, which you'll see in this demo, and knowledge base to help route the end user to the right information at the right time. This, of course, frees up your agents to work on more complex tasks, and it deflects contacts from the service desk. It also is enabled in a number of channels that your end users are comfortable using in your workplace, such as Skype for Business. And you can see here the chatbot is a contact just like any of an end user's colleagues would appear on Skype. And in this case, I have a guest who's visiting today, and I need Wi-Fi access for a guest. And you can see that I've misspelled my request. And one of the phenomenal powers of artificial intelligence and natural language understanding is that it's not keyword based. And so it understood what I was asking for, even though I misspelled it. So let's see, what's the name of the guest? It's Joe, and provide up to 20 accounts. So now what the chatbot is doing is I have Wi-Fi access service in my Digital Workplace Advanced Service Catalog, and there's specific pieces of information that are required in order to provide this service. And so the chatbot is using those questions in the conversation with me. So what day should the Wi-Fi access start? It's going to start today. I put this off to the last minute, obviously. And then when should it end? We'll just say next Tuesday. All right, now what the chatbot is doing is it's taking my conversational terms like tomorrow and next Tuesday, it's translated that into system dates, and it's populating that service request in Digital Workplace Advanced. Now it's asking me to verify that it has the dates correct, and I can choose 1 or 2, yes or no. And when I show you the web UI for Chatbot in a little bit, I want you to see that in that UI, these actually become buttons. So I'm just going to say 1. And now the service request is being created. And in this case, the Wi-Fi access is being set up through a process flow, and an email will be delivered to me that I can then share with my guest so they have access to our Wi-Fi. Let me show you one of our other channels, and that is our web UI. The web UI is completely customizable. As a matter of fact, you can even embed it in your own sites, in your organization. It appears as a little hover button, so it's not too obtrusive and bothersome for your end users. You can customize it. It's very simple to change the colors, the branding. You can create little greeting text, even little messages at the bottom for your end users. So I'm just going to say hi to the chatbot, and you can see that some greeting text that's been programmed is presented back to me. And just for the sake of this demo, because we want to show you that the chatbot isn't quote unquote dumb, it actually knows something about me, the end user, we had it bring back information about Alan, who I'm pretending to be today. And you can see that the chatbot knows I'm a business analyst, that I'm located in San Jose, even knows that I'm a VIP and my email address. So let me show you how the power of natural language understanding and the fact that the chatbot understands a little bit about me can be useful to any organization. So let's say Alan here, I dropped my laptop and it broke, so I need a new one. Okay, so you can see in the chatbot's response that not only is the chatbot offering to help with your computer that's broken, and that it's going to go ahead and submit a request, it knows that I'm in San Jose, and it's letting me know that I can go up to the 5th floor and get a loaner machine. Now these are things that you can train the chatbot to do based on any of these context variables that you provide to it. Let me ask it something a little bit different. Let's say my laptop was stolen, so I need a new one. Again, The chatbot knows that this needs to be reported to security right away. They've already notified security, and security is going to give you a call. Once again, knows that you're in San Jose, and you can go get a loaner up on the 5th floor. But let's say that I am a little bit concerned because this is stolen, and I really would like to talk to somebody. So now the chatbot understands that I'd like to talk to a live agent, and they are putting me in a queue and letting me know that I'm number 1 in the queue. And when that agent actually takes the call, you'll see a little message that's going to pop up and let you know who the agent is. And that agent is actually able to see the entire transcript from the chatbot conversation. And let me just type in, I am actually the agent on the back end. And in a minute, you'll see that I'm able to respond appropriately because I had that transcript from the chatbot. And I'm not going to go through a whole conversation back and forth between the two personas, but once I was finished with that conversation with the agent would close out the conversation, and then it brings me back to the chatbot, to the original context, so that I could ask more questions if I want. So now let me show you how simple it is. I've talked about how you're using the services in Digital Workplace Advanced to train the chatbot. Let me show you how that works. So I'm going to go over to another instance of the chatbot that I have, and I need a break because this was a long demo. I need to book PTO. And you can see here that the chatbot doesn't understand PTO, and so it's not been trained yet. So let's train the chatbot, and we'll see within a minute, within seconds, that in the same session that I have, without even refreshing the screen, we'll be able to ask the chatbot that same question and get a very different response. So to do this, I would go into my Digital Workplace catalog, and you can see I have a PTO service here already populated. And I would go into the options for this, and then you'll see that I have a choice Enable in Chatbot. So once I do that, it takes the information from that service and populates it with, for example, the questions that need to be answered, the information that needs to be collected so that service can be delivered. And it also populates questions that I've suggested the chatbot use to get that information. And then finally, it is assigned to the appropriate process that would create the service request. So I'm going to click Next here on my wizard, and I'm going to import this. Now what's happening now, and I'll just go ahead and go back to my little chatbot here. What's happening now is that information from that service in the service catalog is being transmitted through our cognitive service microservice in the Innovation Suite to IBM Watson Assistant. And it is populating 3 important parts of Watson Assistant. The intents, those are the things that when I talk to the chatbot, those intents are the things that map to what I'm saying and then route the correct response back to me. So the intents and the dialogues are being populated in IBM Watson Assistant. And let's try our question again, and let's see, by now the training should be completed. So I need to book PTO. I'm asking the same question I did before. You'll notice I didn't refresh the screen, and you'll see I got a very different response. So let's see, what time would you need? I want paid time off. When is the start date? We'll just say tomorrow. When is the end date? Next Tuesday. What's the urgency? Oh, anytime I need to take off, it's high priority. And then, thanks, I'll submit this request. Can you confirm it's correct? So it goes through the same flow that we've seen in the rest of the demo. But you can see how quickly using the wizard, you can actually train the chatbot. The final thing that I'd like to show you is actually something very important in most organizations. In most organizations, you're multinational, and you have people who are speaking in a number of languages. And typically, those users, when they're using a web browser, they specify which language they prefer. And it's no different here. I'm using Firefox as my preference for French. And just put in my password here. And you can see that this chatbot speaks French. Now, I really don't speak French here. But what I'm going to do is copy and paste some French in here so that we can ask the chatbot to install some software on my computer. And so this first line here is just, it's a greeting message. Hi, I'm the chatbot. How can I help you? And so I'm going to say, I need some software. And once again, it's going to the service catalog and it's bringing back questions that are appropriate to be able to submit this service request. So it's saying to me, why do you need the software? And it's because I'm on a new project. So I'm just going to respond, I'm on a new project. And then it's asking me what kind of software I need, and it's Visio. And then how urgent is this? Well, it's medium priority. And then what is the name of your computer? I'm just going to make something up. And then can you confirm that everything here is correct? And I indicate yes. And there you can see that it's created that service request for me in Digital Workplace. Let me show you finally how you can see the status of your tickets. And I'm just going to go back to my original chatbot here where we've submitted a number of requests. And I'll say, what is the status of my requests? And then without making a phone call to the help desk, you can see that your end users can see the requests that they've submitted. And as a matter of fact, without even leaving the chatbot, they can see the progress of those issues, and you can see the information that we provided. Of course, they also have the option in any of these here we go. This is the first one that we submitted. You can see Joe Smoth and the dates that they requested. If you desired, you could click View Request, and then you could see that actually in Digital Workplace Advanced. So in this demo, I've demonstrated to you the power of AI and natural language in terms of helping your end users self-heal. I've shown you a couple of the channels that you can use with the chatbot. In addition to these two, you can also use SMS text, and you can use Slack, and we have a number of others that we're working on in our roadmap. You can see where you can extend the power of your investment in Digital Workplace Advanced by really creating self-healing topics based on services in your service catalog. You saw how easy it is to train the chatbot using your existing services. And you also saw how an end user can check on the status of their requests, as well as converse with the chatbot in the language of their choice.